Some are taking apapransa. Some are taking ochingkwai. And some rice. Some perhaps are just drinking water. Some are taking tea. Some are taking Milo. Some are taking coffee. Some are taking some oats. And perhaps for some, it is teased this morning. Hot teased. But that is it. It's the beauty of life. It is the beauty of Cup of Tea on Ultimate 106.9 FM. We'll give you the opportunity to be a part of the conversation, to be a part of the narrative. But I can tell you that Cup of Tea this morning, we are getting into the NDC. The NDC seems a hot party now. What are the reasons? Well, there have been some sweeping changes in Parliament, and the reports are that there's a coup within NDC. The leadership in Parliament, Haruna Idrisu, as some of the newspapers are reporting, has been fired from his leadership position as the minority leader in Parliament. Some people have remained, others have been booted out. Whilst there is joy in some regions, there's sadness in some regions as well. And this morning we'll be speaking to an elder of the NDC to pick his thoughts on all the issues, whether indeed now that we have seen change in leadership, and if I talk about change in leadership, the party went for its national conference and changed the leadership there. And just yesterday, initially there were rumors about the change in leadership in Parliament, and it did come yesterday. A bit some confusion, controversies, and all of that. There are situations that people are saying, these individuals were not consulted. Why would a big party like the NDC not consult individuals within that fold before making some decisions? Or perhaps this is a situation that can just happen like that. The elders of the party, are they aware of these sweeping changes? Are they satisfied? Are they happy? The reactions, how are they going to manage all of this? And some questions are also coming through. So now that the party has changed its leadership at the national level, it has changed its leadership within Parliament, are they going to change the flag bearer that is going to come 2024? Or perhaps that one they're not going to touch it. Well, we'll get the reasons for all of this. But as Nketi has been speaking, he says the changes that is happening within the NDC, it is part of the reorganization of the party for election 2024. So people will ask questions. So if that has happened, are they going to change their flag bearer? Or perhaps the individual, that is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who stood for 2016, who stood for 2020, is the same individual going to go for 2024. Or when it comes to that logic doesn't hold. Well, we'll get some answers from leaders and members of the NDC. If you're an NDC member, I'd like to hear from you this morning. What do you make of that change that occurred yesterday? Some believe it's a coup d'etat because there was no consultation to that effect. We'll get to matters of the National Cathedral. They put out a statement. Interesting statement it is. And I'd like to hear from you as well. 0246-722-1818 and 0509-181-770 when we activate the phone line.
He showed us the way. Finally went away.
South Korea is by nature not a Christian nation. South Korea by nature are Buddhists. China, which is the next large world economy, they have stated that in the next 10 years, 20% of the Chinese people will be multi-millionaires. That means almost 450 million Chinese will be millionaires. They are not Christians, they are Buddhists. The Japanese are Shintoists. Those in Indonesia and Malaysia are Muslims. It's not about praising God and hallelujah and a great thank you Jesus. It's about possessing an understanding as to how things work.
Well, it's about understanding and knowing how things work. Well, let's zoom into the matter. So, yesterday, around mid-morning, thereabouts, information trickled, statements were put out there that the NDC had changed its guard, the leadership in Parliament. There were all kinds of reaction. If yesterday in Tamale, there were some individuals there who were not happen. We got wind that they were going to burn ties and other things to let the leadership of the party know that they are not happy about the decisions to remove Haruna Idrisu and his team, Mutaka and Co. Masked up the party's regional office over the surprising shake-up in the party's parliamentary leadership. But the national chairman of the NDC, Johnson Asiedin Ketia, he himself, he's been reacting to those changes and sharing his thoughts on that in several changes to the NDC.
As a political party has reaching to the Speaker of Parliament to make some changes in your leadership in terms of Parliament. What is the true story from the?
We've issued a letter from headquarters signed by the General Secretary, the new General Secretary, Honorable Fifi Fiavi Kote, communicating formally to Mr. Speaker changes that we have made in our front line in Parliament. That is indeed true. And the new changes will bring on board Dr. Kesela Tuforsen as the new minority leader, Honorable Ama Kofibwa as the new deputy minority leader, and Honorable Governor Doyo Ganza and Honorable Leadership. Well, there are two questions. Why we are taking the decision and why now? And I guess the answer is the same. We started reorganization, started at more than a year ago. We started at the branch level. We've since done elections in about 40,000 branches. And then from there, we proceeded to constituency level. We've done largely with all the constituencies, and then we've done regional elections, and we just completed the national elections. So the next in line is to take a look at our leadership in Parliament, and that is what we've just done. So in terms of timing, it is in line with the way the only constant thing in nature is change. And so since the environment is changing, leadership and many other things must change along the new environment. Many of the debates and other discussions will focus on the economy. So we better put your best man in the economy forward. And that is what we've done. And then we also looked at energy. You know, this petroleum and electricity challenges, and so we needed to settle on Kofi Amabua, our former minister, to be the deputy minority leader. And then the other area is infrastructure, and Kwame Ogboja being our man in infrastructure should play a key role. So that generally is what informed the changes. But there are other things that are coincidental. You take the leadership of Parliament, we are bound to organize ourselves in such a way that by and large we provide for regional balance and other balances in our ways of doing things. And so since it is very difficult to get representation of 16 regions in 5 appointments, you need to do a lot of mathematics. And our view is that the balance cannot be secured with only one segment of the party. So the elections have turned out certain leaders. We already have other leaders that are already existing. And then also, if we are doing appointments, we take all these as a whole to try and see how we can get a fair balance. When you look at Western region, it's one region that has not, when we were in 92 thereabout, 93 thereabout, that we put somebody on the front bench for a while, and that ended it. So it's a significant region that we need to look at. So when we got the combination of Kofi Amobua from Western region, and he being also very conversant with the energy sector, we thought that it was a good choice, so we put him there. Central region is the same. As for Central region, I think we have, there too, for a long while, we haven't gotten a leader there from that time. Since the time of, I think, Amabenyuado also, we have since not gotten anybody from there. And so we felt there was a need to do this type of spread. And then when you look at the two regions that give us the highest number of MPs, Greater Accra and Volta region, they definitely have to be represented. So you have Doyo retained, and then you have Kwame Agboja also being appointed. One will ask why, because we have Dr. Aveji as a deputy minority leader then. Dr. Aveji has just informed us that he's not contesting elections again. But the good thing about this leadership is that it adds something to your weight, so that apart from your own constituency, you can also reach out to help other constituencies. And so if you have an MP who is no longer contesting, we felt that it would be better to put an MP who will be contesting so he can reach out to other constituencies and support. And so, but a point that we need to make is that the change has nothing to do with the performance of the leaders at all. What it has a lot to do about is that the environment is changing. And so if you are a football coach and the team you are facing and the game style they are adopting is not in keeping with the players you have put out there, you will do yourself a lot of good.
I was just about going to that point, because the description in the media is that there is a revolt in the NDC, a reason for which you're changing the first two men at the forefront in Parliament. Have you spoken to these gentlemen involved, and do you have their blessings?
Yes, we sent a senior person in the party to engage them and let them know that this is the way we are going to handle it. Naturally, it will not be a pleasant news, but at least you need to give before writing the letters to them. And apart from the letter we have written to Mr. Speaker, each of them has been written a special letter acknowledging their contributions whilst they were in the leadership, and then thanking them and assuring them that the change has nothing to do with their competence or otherwise, but it has everything to do with the changing times and the changing field. And so that's about it.
So that team is well versed in politics and diplomacy as well. Ambassador Daniel Ohene Ajekum is our guest this morning on the telephone line to get a further and better understanding to the reaction of the change of guard Parliament for the minority. That's the NDC. Ambassador, if you can hear us, good morning.
I can hear you very clearly. Thank you. Good morning to all of you.
And what are you taking for breakfast this morning?
Oh, well, today I'm thinking about, you mentioned some people are taking wachi and akranti and kwanyandi. I'm thinking about a person fufu kwai. I
hope mommy can get you that this morning.
Oh, yes. she already can do that for me. But
Well.
the work is a little empty, so I need to refill it.
Okay, that's good. But Ambassador, have you been monitoring the media space and the reaction that has greeted the change of guard in the minority group in Parliament?
To some extent, yes. Of course, I can't monitor all the media, the entire media landscape, but I have followed some of the comments, social media, some of the press statements, and so on. And yes, I have.
Okay, so the media, some media platforms are reporting there's a coup in NDC. Is the media reporting the issues right?
Well, not even as an elder, as a citizen, I think the media should be extremely cautious in reporting on some developments in this country, not only about parties, but on other social issues and so on. Now, the choice of words is very, very important. Now, the word fired and dismissed and all that, if you listened to Asidi Nketia carefully, I think you will understand that that word has no place in the explanation that he provided. I didn't read, and I'm glad that you played it for me to listen. I think Asidi Nketia has given a very clear, unambiguous explanation of the process that led to the decision to change, so to speak, God. The point is, it couldn't be interpreted, that decision couldn't be interpreted in any way to mean firing, dismissing, because usage of these words only goes to create ill affection against our party's leadership. I will say this, that from my personal experience and knowledge of this process, this is nothing new. It is the norm. From 1992, 96, 2000, coming this far, it has always been the party prerogative to determine who should lead the party caucus in Parliament. That has been the norm. And let me also emphasize that it has never been the case, as Lawyer Husseini from Tamale pointed out. The party, it is not normal for the party to consult the parliamentary leadership before making the appointments. In this particular instance, it is just as well that, according to our chairman, and I have no reason to doubt his word, according to him, they did consult the leadership in Parliament before the decision was eventually conveyed to the Speaker. So I cannot believe that, even though it's not a normal thing, they even went to this extent to inform them. So what the press is reporting, they just stoking the fire, creating unnecessary disaffection and ill feeling against our party's leadership.
Is it not about the timing and perhaps the other there was no consultation?
Consultation between which institutions? The consultation was within the party.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm sure there was consultation.
We seem to get a feedback from you. If you can reposition yourself a bit, we appreciate that. Pete to you. If you're also listening and the line is not properly in terms of the quality, if you can hear, just align us, let us know. The key individuals were informed, but the members, the caucus in Parliament, there was no consultation as to who should be chosen to lead them.
Well, that's my point. Caesar, from my experience working with this party, I remember the first time we did this. We met in Accra at the Greater Accra Regional Minister's office. I remember Obed was there, Ojo was there, the big boss were all there. The decision was taken by the party in consultations with the other senior officers within the party. You know, so there was no doubt as this time around. It's nothing new. So I cannot understand why the party's caucus in parliament should have been consulted prior the decision conveyed to the individual members of leadership. For me, that was more important. After all, we have members of parliament, but we also have the individuals who occupy those. If the members of the old leadership just change leadership, we recall when the party that they should become the new leader, the party's leadership in parliament was not consulted as a group. No, they were selected by the party leadership and were informed, and that was the start. That was the end of it. So I don't know why people are making so much noise about the caucus in parliament not being consulted. That has never been the norm. That's the point of it.
Ambassador, some have also suggested this change we're seeing is a bit ruthless and perhaps uncompromising. What could have prompted this? As an elder, what perhaps the national executives tell you the reasons for these changes? Because there are quite a number of speculations coming through that these people didn't perform to the standard the party wanted.
Well, let us all be very objective and realistic.
We seem to be getting some breaks in.
How do I move? You know, my movement is bad. Is it still difficult?
Yeah, I think that let's try.
Okay. So the point I'm making is that you know the consultations are made at a certain level within the party hierarchy. So what it means is that once the consultations have been done at the highest level within the party's hierarchy, we're talking about the National Executive Committee. All right. So once this is done, I believe that the right thing to do was to inform or give prior notice to the individual members of the party's minority leadership in parliament, because it has never been the practice that having informed the individuals, we had to go to the larger group, the minority group, to consult the group. It has never been the practice. And Ashidun Ketia has taken the trouble to give reasons why those changes have been made, some of which include regional balance, if you like, ethnic balance, etc., etc.
So it's not about performance issues.
No, he explained. That's why I said I didn't want to go into the detail of what he has already stated. He explained clearly that it has nothing to do with their competence or otherwise, borrowing his own words. I don't want to plagiarize, borrowing his own words. He said it has nothing to do with their competence or otherwise, as I listen to him. Therefore, we can dismiss that speculative reporting by the press. We simply have to dismiss it.
But if we are talking about regional balance here, the old guard had or has the speaker who perhaps still tilts towards the NDC from the north. Haruna Idris himself from the north. Mutaka from the north, JM from the north, that is the old guard. Perhaps the new guard that is coming in, Atoforsen from Central Region. We have Western Region also being represented there. The Chief Whip now from Volta Region, the Deputy Chief Whip from Bono. And by and large, there's that posturing or some NDC members that suggest be given the nod again to lead the party. And possibly, if the NDC wins, the speaker is going to be Bagbe. What then has changed?
I'm not quite sure whether I understand the question. Nothing has changed. And if there's a change, well, it has changed in terms of the new appointments of the minority leadership. But I think somebody was talking about others have, tweeted a new law. In accordance with the norm that has been part of the process, the norm. The other point that somebody raised, look, the position is elected. It's not by appointment. So we should distinguish between the leadership race, primaries, and the decision by the national executives to change is within their legal, according to our constitutional authority to do so. But the president's position is different. We are going to determine, when I say we, the party as a whole, delegates are going to determine whether or not it should be John Mahama, Kwabena Before, Kojo Bonsu. Who else is going to come up? As far as I understand, from my perspective, there are two different issues. Yeah. We've got to be clear on that.
But what about those who also suggested that if indeed, as in terms of
decision by the party to change is within their authority. The party has is the generality of the party delegates, all of them, from all the regions, from 275 constituencies, who determine the leadership. As for the running mate, it is not by election, it is by selection. Whoever becomes the running mate will be the choice of the individual who emerges as the leader of the party and the presidential candidate. Okay. I hope I'm clear on that. Mm-hmm. I think people are confusing the two scenarios. There are two different scenarios.
But as much as per your position, you think people are confusing, wouldn't that also play on the minds of people that, okay, if Asiedin Ketier's position is reorganization and we are preparing ourselves for battle, let's also change and bring somebody who has got that energy to win us elections.
You mean in terms of the primary, the leadership?
Yes, please. The flag bearer, chief whip, and candidate.
No, but the point I'm making, yes. The point I'm making is that, and let me be very clear, it is not the party hierarchy who should effect the changes that should happen in terms of the election of a leader of the party and a presidential candidate. It is not for the hierarchy to take that decision. It is for the 275, yes, I think 275 constituencies delegates who would meet and determine who should lead the party into the next election. It's not the party hierarchy.
Yes, but wouldn't his statement play on the minds of people? Because obviously he talks about a certain reorganization that you're doing ahead of 2024, and with this reorganization, we've seen individuals lose elections at the constituency levels, at the ward levels, and perhaps at the national levels. That took away Sami Foto, the chairman. Now we've seen what has happened in Parliament. So if it's reorganization, then it's going to play on the minds of delegates that we are reorganizing. Let's look for somebody who can take us into the future, somebody who can win elections, contest, and perhaps have another chance over 4 years. This can play on the minds of some people.
You can't sort of dismiss this kind of mind, change. When you talk about Adam is construing what the chairman has said,
okay,
or clearly missing the point. I don't see why anybody's mind should be in any way affected by what is happening. Change is something that everybody would, society would resist. People resist change normally, usually. But when the changes are explained and you understand why, the reasons for the change, you begin to understand and accept the change that will come. But I'm saying that in terms of if we are changing, we are reorganizing, leading to changes, as has happened with the primary, with the constitutional elections and the regional elections and the national elections. That is one, if you like, a kettle of fish.
Okay.
The other is that as far as the election of a presidential candidate by our party is concerned, it is a choice by the people, by the party delegates. This is quite different, I think. So again, when the time comes, the party, in consultations with the Council of Elders, have defined the roadmap. So the process is leading up to the election of the our presidential candidate.
Okay.
We know that. So I am hoping that when the dust settles over the changes that have been made at in Parliament with respect to our minority group leadership, once the dust is settled, we'll begin to fashion out how we're going to organize to ensure that there will be a free, a fair, a transparent election of a leader, whether it is A, B, or C. It is left for the delegates to decide, to determine.
Ambassador, we are grateful for having time for us this morning and share your thoughts on these developments happening within the NDC.
There are positive developments, I think. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So you had Ambassador Daniel Hine Ejekum speaking to us, an elder of the NDC, sharing his thoughts on development reactions after the change of guard at the NDC in Parliament, minority group in Parliament, reactions from Tamale and other places that have come through. Some are warning the chairman not to step foot in Tamale, for removing their person, for removing their man. Let me bring you some reactions, and perhaps PV Datsun Jatwa is here as well. I'll speak his thoughts about this development within his party.
Two of them, you are aware that they will do more than this one. You know what to do. You know what to do. You know what to do. I said you can vote. Me to our vote. These people all of them yes, vote. So don't me that why they are voting. You know how to do. If you want, I'm the chairman for Tamale constituency. Yeah. If you tell my people that no, vote for ANADE, don't vote for Obama, and you put them for the party. Go ask him. If you go around and tell people that vote for ANADE. So yes, so that's why don't ask me that today. If you do that, that's why you say that you know. This one you are in Europe. Yeah, because if you put if you don't do it, So I said, you don't have picture to give anybody. But you are good at the secretary to you. So now you are a big man. You want to punish people. Look at nonsense. So I want to tell you, I'm the constituency chairman. This is two times. You want to go to it and take chance. Because of those stupidness, you won't get chance.
Those were some reactions from Tamale, where the northern region, Tamale, the regional capital there. They are not happy. There's been a change of guard. They are not happy. Haruna Idrisu has been booted out, removed, sacked, coup d'etat, and all of that against him, as it is regards the issues of the NDC.
Good on yourself.
Not bad. I hope you've been monitoring development within your party.
Yes.
Some have described
last night, yes.
Some have described the action as self-destruction. The NDC, you don't know what you want. You are distracting yourself with some of these changes you have made. What are your thoughts? Some believe it's cool. Some believe Haruna Idrisu has been fired for ill or lack of performance by his team. The approval of some certain ministers within the Akufo-Addo government and all of that. There's been also reaction to a statement that was put out by the minority caucus during the ahead of the national elections, whereby some MPs declared support for Asierin Kete. Some said no, they had not, and all of that. And that the minority. What do you know? What do you have for us? What are the issues?
Sister, once again, good morning. There is an account proverb that says that so we become aboa tromo no we biare sacerdote jana man for musu nkono baby.
Okay.
You see, change in itself is not a bad thing.
Okay.
But your ability to manage the change, matters most. Right. Change in itself is not a bad thing. But like I said, your ability to manage the change that you are embarking on matters most. Personally, I'm not against the change. But what I'm not comfortable with is the timing of the change. That is it. I don't think the timing is right.
The timing is wrong.
Yes.
What makes it wrong? He says you are reorganizing. You've had elections. You've changed some guards, constituency levels, and all of that. So
in the history
as part of the reorganization,
in the history of NDC,
yeah.
At what point have we had our constituency regional elections, name them, that we've changed our parliamentary leadership? What we've been doing is at the beginning of every parliamentary, what do you call it? After we've gone through
general election.
Yes.
Okay.
Then we constitute a new parliamentary leadership. I watched a video on the on the City FM.
Yeah, wait, he preempted this happening.
Yeah, but
and said there were legal issues, there were court issues. You were in court then.
No, but court, what has the court issue got to do with this?
He said he didn't want any distraction.
Distraction what?
Then you were in court protesting the elections.
No.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the elections or changing the parliamentary leadership. If they wanted to do that.
Okay.
You see, my point is that he said when he was asked, did they inform the leadership, that caucus leadership? He said, no. He sent an elderly person from the party to go and talk to them. Why? You are in charge. You have the mandate to run the party. So why do you have to send somebody to go and tell them once you have the assigned reasons?
Is there something wrong with that?
Something is absolutely wrong with it. Because if you have reasons for taking an action, why don't you go ahead and do it? You said it's for, he said it's for what? Regional balance, reorganization, and what? I think you made mention of
he talked about the regional balance. He talked about reorganization of the party. He talked about giving others the opportunity to also come in and show what they've got.
So these are your assigned reasons. Call the affected people. That because of this ABCD, we are changing you.
Okay.
Then, so be it. But to go through another person, that means there's something wrong somewhere.
But is it not fair to communicate to the individual that this is happening?
So exactly my point. Invite them and say, look.
Okay.
we have plans to change you.
Okay.
And these are our assigned reasons.
Okay.
We are reorganizing, we are doing this, we are doing that, and so on and so forth. So, we are going to put the message out there. And that ends it.
Okay.
But I mean, my challenge is to go through somebody, because you have the mandate to run the party.
Okay.
And you chose to use your mandate as and when you want to.
So the right way should have been an
Invite
invitation
them
to the team.
Yes, invite the
leaders.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they know they can be changed. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can assign the reason. Look, because of ABCD, that's why we defer this action up to this point. So now we want to carry it out, and we think it is fair and right for us to get a new face. So know the assigned reasons.
From where you sit in an honorable position within the NDC. Are you happy with the performance of this leadership?
I have nothing against them. And so far, I think they've done what they can do. Yesterday, somebody was telling me because they failed to resist the 2.5% VAT, the introduction of 2.5% VAT, they have to be booted out and so on and so forth. I said, look, why? Why should that be a reason?
Okay.
Because we find ourselves in this country. We can't. This country needs to move.
Ultimate FM.
Right. If NDC decides to take a position that we are going to resist ABCD because we are in economic hardships, by the time we will come to power, there will be no Ghana for us to run.
Okay.
So we need to do the best that we can. And one of the reasons that we have a hung parliament is sometimes to agree on some of these things. What about when we were electing the Speaker of Parliament? What happened? We got some of them to also vote for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
All in the interest of what?
Democracy.
Yes. So we can't be taking entrenched positions in some of these things.
Do you feel the leadership of Asierin Ketia has got something against the leadership of the minority leader?
Well, I have no proof or reason.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have anything that I can lay my hands on. Look, it is because of this and that and that. No.
Are the agitations from Tamale right?
It's not right, but it is because of poor communication.
Okay.
If the reasons assigned for the change was spelled out, right, maybe this thing wouldn't have happened.
Could this affect your chances in 2024?
You see, the whole thing is that I wish they would have consulted the caucus first.
Okay.
And tell them. But people are also saying that, look, they don't need to consult them. Right. You see, we have loyalty issues. Right.
Okay.
Probably if they would have consulted them, maybe they can also make a choice that, okay, if you want to change our leadership, then we think Mr. ABCD will best fit into those shoes for us. So my fear is that once it gets to any kind of or any form of secret voting, it is most likely we may suffer this loyalty issue.
Interesting thoughts from PV Datsen Boateng Jantua, the former director YES, now NEP, sharing his thoughts on those developments.
Our national chairman also have some questions to answer.
Asierin Ketia?
Oh yes. Oh. That's my personal view.
On what?
Because when he was campaigning,
he
was saying that people were into under dealings with the ruling government.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't allow that thing just to pass.
Oh, but the minority rejected those situations. You know, when the ministers were passed, I remember how Akumsin, Okopon Kroma, there were issues. We had all kinds of that. NDC media platforms that had been locked, that were prevented from. There were some under dealings. The NDC had a meeting that they should allow them to operate, the Radio Golds and others, the Dufours and others. Some monies exchanged hands, and they came and said, "No, we are clean. We don't know of that." Maybe it was just one of those situations. Or
no, but he made mention.
Okay, he's an astute politician.
Yes.
So he should be called and questioned by who?
Yeah. What? Time will tell, because you see, you can't just make that statement and let it pass. I think he was making reference to a certain people within the party.
Okay.
So now, who can we trust? we don't even know the people that he was referring to. What about if they are still in some key positions?
So I think it needs to answer these questions. Well, that is PV there. Catch him on Abusia 96.5. But we'll let you call us and we'll like to hear from you as well. 0246721818 and 0509181770. What is your cup of tea this morning? Share that with us here. 0246721818 and 0509181770. It seems there's some fire within the NDC. Hello, good morning. Yes, sir. But as a Congress, as a radio now, Jack, I bet well, one crack a boy now.
Caesar, but I say,
yeah, Yamia Dumais, yeah.
Caesar, let me check General Secretary Fifi. Let me check Deputy Regional Secretary Patan for. Let me check Lawyer Ifan Sanamba. Let me check Nyanka Saneta. I want to project to her. Dr. Already for the open kasi will be various constituencies across the group. Almost all of them were saying, I want the first. I want to project. I will get the mom. Let me show open kasi. Caesar, I'm saying, and now NDC party now, I don't want to say that. But minority leader, I want to say, the Biano no could be, and I see and I the now. It is a yadi and the food is a war. And then the individual interest too, and your party interest, and a Ghana as a whole. But I want to say, normally, I am far, but you find your Jojo, and you move for party forward. And then before, and then the demonstration, and then the Kasa. Because you are making the say, party hierarchy national, or more consulting, or what this are the German Kofobi. And to your best say, member of what they call as the constituency, Yanka say, good sending addition more. You would say, young family NDC party now. Then a better union and a better power coming 2024. Caesar, I'm saying, no, maybe also, oh, Kuma. Caesar, young share, no young Kawasama, ever hardens. Why in Central doing actually, the Ghana Education Service and the Ministry of Education, and nobody also Ghana. Caesar, I'm something in front of you, ever I want for that. The books are ever told you, I'm going to get to work class 6 million. Our class 2. Okay, 500 Ghana, 5 million. Caesar, so one now, we should that's a one fair education director. No one thinks you want the big event so going to get the ministers now. Because the name of course will come on air anywhere. Caesar,
yeah.
But there's a work at home.
I said I was we'll get to them the answers now because members of the Sumbobia bomb so we'll get to them and get the answers. Adentina parents are all for 8 year Sikasa for books, school fees, and all of that.
See the work for school fees and come home. And your books and books.
Hey,
and next time exercise books and go on. School fees and come home. State experimental. I don't want GSS3. I said GSS3 will be 1,000. The talk was basic for 1,000 Ghana. And then GHS, Aban Suku, and International. And then the doctor was no. Caesar, let's say we need him. What for Ghana Education Service? No one miss all. The letters are by the Jabba. So I want to trace this recovery. And I say your mistress, and the principal of the basic school. No.
Okay. That's it. Congress. Hello, good morning. Yes, sir.
Let me see you the
Shaibu Bajora is saying.
social champions women. We are not good for the children pressure. So I think not the international time I never said in Turkey. National organizer to Sophia something very difficult. Madame for time and I by time. And a difficulty. National is an American Yankee. Yes, support us here. One I'm going to me and I do so. Look at the compassion. I'm not going to me with the mature. So, it's after the children of your doctor, your young mother, I didn't consider and never do. She in position where MPM so yes a career. Look at a career. The more kind of NDC plans NDC plan that is an additional data. As a political because I mean, it's a bit of a SSC to consistency another appointment. And if you're not and that PTS is doing like a second to try I think we can know it is a for food and beer. It is pick up and also pick up out and also it's not sound. It's yes, pick up now a church will never present because the nation will usually cut it. And if you have a bit similar now, we have to say, my relative is not there. For national ministry, then we are that's a wish. I'm not in this amateur. We will see the minister out there in the TV. Let's go for our TV. The black of the also for boys. When you have the other cut a female family, the same anime. If this is maybe amateur, anyway, some in the TV, but I can't. Okay. If you see the men from like the God, like not according to minority media. And again is there because they say no, the moment you find that because I know this and I with the guy they do not have and not tell me how to for the sending.
Okay, may I say in our seminar dosso and our seminar dosso our high Idrisu team name. Hello, good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great, sir. Yourself?
And by the grace of God, I am doing very, very well.
Great. Who am I speaking to?
I'm Julius calling from Central Market.
Hey, Ejawuzu.
Caesar.
How is the Central Market today?
It's moving gradually.
But I say, Yakway.
Yeah, then Yanko Fancy, Caesar. Mamisha, media monitors for Kakamincha, Wumuye. I can't say Wumu Airport Juma. Caesar Kaka Maker, and he say, the worker, the DIC, and I put one in the team. Umuti or my Ghana Epa is very, very sad. Truly, it's very, very sad. I think you are all know that the dear man, you need to see him. I will hope. I said, and that year, you did some engineer sticker. Not to the 8 it's a year. It's a mark and then it's you shop a park of Colombia, what TV show, Asian, and Sika, the bond that what for? Mr. The example. I did not DNA Sika. I did some people will be confusion and command. I hear you need that. Can I you? Yeah, Sika. And you are the national executive with the power. Let's say, before we have the and then before the Anyama, I bet to look them. But Caesar, look where I am, you movie, you will say, so I change the way out, then 1 year, and Francois, a different player, you will be you. You really that. You will be there at the end of the day.
I didn't get you say you are reorganizing operational balance in Intina. Muye way now.
I see the no and Ukradi and Kawa and Chino. Down what kind of the Ankapad, not agents and Omu balance in it. Don't get college Uma Omubaku is 3,000 Northern region, not Emu. Baku Free Central region, Baku Free Western, Data New, Voter, Jewum, and I say, Buno, is a Buno, so any Papa. Regional balance, yeah, Central region.
So I said almost party, no, a certain direction, sir. Perhaps certain John Dramani Mahama is coming back. Perhaps the leadership in Parliament, no, the speaker, no, is going in a certain direction. And
the Asante region, boy.
Maybe I see the get any Buzano. But me that say with me. Actually, Wadring Amayawa. Hello, good morning.
my serious Caesar.
Hello, good morning, Kwame.
Kwame, me finish Caesar.
Me what you say?
Oh, na me dum na mo pa boy ho dem pa.
Yera me ase.
Caesar. Catch me near Josie. So they see everything there. Hey, na ku bodo kwa na ugina mama there. Ani oba hima tafrio. Obi a ayi bese common dum sompo. Ontimi so say you better can near my tia kase. Enya e chance. Iya juma kan say enfemi ensa na tia wo sumi ensa. Edi ya mo ba mo nya yam piano to no. Me say obi anka say o man no say be man na to free through. That's so they say far better. The worst governance of MPP is the best of the NDC. Yeah, we need to. What do you say? Now you say, Ghana, and I say you are seeing an account with him. I mean, the film. What do you say? Mama, dear, on your turn to cry. I'm poor to country. Now, see that. I did somewhere else today. Me, you know, but you know, maybe I catch you. I couldn't tell you. Your mama is sitting with you. What do you say? Don't come away.
Out of the several thousands of NDC board.
Okay. Now, why and so this is the other today. We are talking. Very council regional balance. Then I go swimming against between. No regional balance. Two, let's say, you know. They say economy, no, the election is all body on economy.
Economy, aye.
Or economic, you can answer that. See that? To be the chairman of the but only no background. And after being a leader, no, care a buyer, so that will be a finance as a man. Next chairman was like, oh, you told me what financial background. What I say, no, that can I'm MPP. The same as NDC. A buyer, energy, one of these, only energy, by a second in a point, so I said, in the way you be they say, I took how much you or kind of say, a low background. It's a baby, you never legal, yeah, and general ultimate another day.
Wait to me.
It makes sense. Oh, I never make the answer. Let me say, we are this year, or more better pie. Last year, see that. We're coming to last year. Chabamano, may you can carry it, may say, Yarene. Let's get the check with the court. The catcher Ghana for the party for our demonstration, position tight, and the boom for and they are marrying a banner. It's the Adano. Who could not call Yakuna say, but check court say, she got said, no, yeah, a bit in a design is what I'm going to say. She got said, no, yeah. What do you can say? No, you're telling us we're doing. Don't pay no yeah. Now that's the part.
Okay.
Now that's the part. What's the mobile papa?
Mate. But I say, Kwame MPP. Hello, good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great, sir.
This is Nana Kwame.
Nana, how are you? Where are you calling from?
I agree with everything that.
Hello, Nana. You agree with everything that you said?
For once, I have agreed with everything that Congress said about saving kids.
Okay.
This time was just that the NDC went in. They are never like, you see, people are saying that he knows me. The camera is for the party belongs to you. I listened to this interview with CTFM with the General Secretary, and Bernard Able asked him that the head president Mahama told the people to hold on to this decision. Is it true? And he said, this is leadership decision. And he asked you specifically, did Mahama tell people to hold on to this decision? He could not answer him yes or no. And he asked him again, did Mahama ask you to postpone this decision till he comes? He could not even answer him. This was the same accusation as Keke was accusing of some people. That when he decided to take a decision, Mahama came in to ask him to hold on. He ignored him. The same accusation was nobody say, no, how can you be going for and you take a lamb to go and face a lion? How can Kesako face Chairman Sabonsu? How can the former energy minister face Akenyemake? Is it because he's trying to get back at them because they did not support his bid or what? It's now the party is now becoming somebody's own property. I think he can mess around and know. If he doesn't take care, what happened to Paula Poco will happen to us. We will remove him from the chairmanship before the election comes on. Because you cannot be playing with our heart.
Okay.
And look, I paper TV said that people are traitors. Now the general secretary, he should bring out the names of those traitors. It's a challenge. He should bring out the traitors that he was talking about. You cannot be working and people who come and open his mouth and be speaking anything just like that because we think the fact that we relax the party doesn't mean that we should tolerate every nonsense that comes out of them. Thank you.
Interesting times for the NDC. Hello, good morning. Yes, sir. I don't know where. Why the hell on Jay? Obi how on Jay?
Oh, Obi Arame. Me criminal kakra. Actually, me kakra. Criminal.
Martin Bajo.
I feel I'm not criminal. The same and me come up.
Loud and clear.
Thank you. Na mamin do abaso. Na me ni better o. We dey throw.
Insurance commando boa.
Ai kama fire. Oh, insurance commando. I know about abaso mama. In fact, oye blind situation insurance no. Ye ni so pa yakupon kana. Na michia chama na kwesi. Ya mi papa Dr. Kwame before. In short, yakupon kana ho bi ho bia. Na siga. Aya somo. Na asomo na be ni sino in person na kabi. Na wo share mutaka. Enye mutaka akweti with the sense wo ka che Speaker of Parliament no. Akiyansanka. O ka se MP no. O ka tam paper na o de ka shire ni mu na o hwe no. Unu mi se mi ta kono ko ni plusa mo ti paper na mai unu mi sa ge.
Ono no man upper card lower card upper card low. Oh. But you see I say on trust kakra am for also the fresh blood ebem.
You have to be your papa. No the papa so cheleka. Ade mu takiyi. When it's proper Parliament ho. Papa na mtumi se sebe. Nkona belo yi papers dia. Should do no see papers no. The meter can find channel. No didn't start up put your program paper now you know. Pasidi papa. Nene any speaker of Parliament to Parliament you are. No so be university in say siga. Omone na yen fair.
Okay.
Minister is more than omone na yen fair.
Okay.
Now, all say, make the man who see them because of market because of now. Also, me and your congress back so school books be.
Aye.
Yeah, me first girl, the first I'm a leader. Or 5 years so. You do so me almost there 8 years. Now, me baby boy, or 3 years. Follow Augustus Nana Cotelus. Ono so mu se no to no be 5 million. Akora ko 3 se me pa no ko sua o so mto bu sun ko 5 million. It's in the street teachers for them. Say that they need the money to kaka na mfa fu de ye empamla.
Okay.
Now share per ko fa do mo bone o mo so o kuma. The friend is to be aka higo. Ni ye di ma kini. Ya yes sir. Tu bi na share ya fanye de.
Me da say hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Caesar.
Yes, sir.
This is Emmanuel Logomi Apaku, State General Secretary.
Emma, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Not bad.
Chama Fire, I hope you do well.
Yeah, he's here listening to you.
Yes, say hi to you for me. I just want to talk about the changes in the positions for the leadership in Parliament for the NDC.
Okay, you don't support it, you support it?
I think it's for the good for the party because no one has a permanent position in NDC. From the grassroots to the highest level, anyone can be changed at any time. So what we are interested in is for the victory to come in 2024. So let us all fight to win the election in 2024. I think that is the best. So NDC, let us focus and unite for the better of the party and for all Ghanaians, and remove this super incompetent leadership of the NPP led by Akufo-Addo, who is mismanaging the country. We don't even know where we're heading towards to. Thank you, Sir.
Thank you very much, Emma, for sharing your cup of tea with us. I'll pick my last caller. My guests, both of them are seated here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Julius.
Yes, Madam Claudia.
Julius, I don't know argument, what it's about.
Well, the NDC, they've changed their leadership, and some are happy, some are not happy within Parliament. They believe Haruna Idrisu has performed and should be there with his team. Some also believe no, he can be changed at any time, and that is what the new leadership has done.
But Julius, I'm sure they discussed it, and that's how it's done. No position is permanent. Well, Ghana has it. They don't do reshuffle. Or be more position here, basically a leader. That's the any symptom from one game when you said, I don't like how long that, I don't know how long. It's point fighting. When you start taking the party, it will be divided. But yeah, silent. Everywhere. Africa. Because I don't know. Because just as the emphasis, I didn't trust your name in the paper. All the name says, that's fine. But I don't know if you going to also regional balance. Because I be a that's all the original balance is that is the part of one who know ya. Let's say one will have members and some of the division. It's the original balance, shouldn't come. But they see a change here. They can change them. No, now you move on. Now, journalists, politicians, and our shopping. When I'm only able to tell you, what I do, what Mama said, I am anyway, I'm a good day.
Thank you very much, Madam Claudia. Journalist, you're welcome. Well, let me do this quick turnaround. When I come back, my guest will get to the issues. And Chairman Ernest Afaya Michezo Commando, he's here. And if you go to Kwabre, yes, Kwabre East, you find him there. Is he a commando there? I don't know, but I'll find out. But he's the secretary for the NPP there. And if you go to NAPCO as well, he is the director there. But NAPCO is still there. When we come back, I'll ask him. We'll be back.
Bet365 is now officially available in Ghana. When you place a pre-match multi-bet on football, you go get bonus up to 70% to your winnings if your bet is successful. You can choose from markets like full-time results and both teams to score from selected competitions including the Premier League, Champions League and much more. Get this great offer when you visit the official site at bet365.com responsibly.
Osecrom Ultimate 106.9 is at it again. This time, we want to show great appreciation to car owners and drivers at the Ultimate Car Wash. Come and meet our beautiful and sweet ladies with their experts who will wash your car with state-of-the-art equipment and quality car washing chemicals that will leave your cars looking fresh, shiny and squeaky clean. You also get the chance to meet your favorite Ultimate radio staff and presenters. There will be great music and interesting games that will keep you entertained whilst we wash your car. Ultimate Car Wash. Shine your ride.
Football from around the world. Feely on HD Plus from 17 January 2023. Score HD is available only on HD Plus channel 151.
Worried about how and where to get the best internet connectivity for your home or office? Are you concerned about how to get a stable, fast internet connection with superb customer service experience? The solution is the Cloud High-Speed Air Fiber Internet, the leading provider of air fiber internet. Get 99.9% reliable network connection you can always depend on. Affordable internet without compromising. Get the job done with a cloud network internet for business, home, office, and campuses. High-speed internet with all the bells and whistles. That's what I'm talking about. In addition to fast upload and download speeds, cloud internet or high-speed internet service with a cloud CCTV and IPTV. Wi-Fi deployment for campuses with monitoring and management system. Refer a friend to get discount. Visit our office at Top High, opposite Love FM. We share the same building as Kumeriman Rural Bank. Call Mr. Internet on 0202-699-110 at cloudghana.com.
Provident Insurance is 40 years. Provident Insurance welcomes you to a new year. Remember to insure your new car or renew your existing motor insurance policy from now to the 31st of March and get free gifts such as fuel coupons and several other branded Provident souvenirs. Rush for insurance cover now. Terms and conditions apply.
Insurance, the future happy days.
With Provident, man, you are covered.
The Ultimate Car Wash.
Ultimate 106.9 FM presents another fun edition of the Ultimate Car Wash.
Wash your car free of charge. Meet, greet, and have fun.
The car washing a new year.
Venue is the B Buster Washing Bay at Amekom, adjacent TI Amas, and near Welcome Home.
Date
the Saturday 25th of February 2023 from 8 a.m.
We have washed all cars. Come and let me give your car a good massage.
If it's a taxi, a private car, a trotro, or any car you have, come display your latest car models and let's reward you. Do make a date and tell a friend.
Ladies will be treated to manicure, pedicure with good music in the atmosphere.
Wow, the guys and brothers, watch UEFA Champions League matches live.
It's the Ultimate Car Wash, brought to you by Ultimate 106.9 FM with support from
Ebusian FM, Ago TV, and GH1 TV.
You can't miss it.
The Ultimate Car Wash.
See ya!
It's free.
Ye nyina ya ebonye tia onyankopon. Wo a woton emo, woton nchene, a wokopo no wo abo ase ana odi papers ahyem a wo sade mankrofo wo say o man wo ka ho bi. Ye demonstration amanye bi. Wo a adwumam ade a eye 1 CD, wo de 0 smenu aka ho. No akwaji hozika ye demonstration I forbid you manye bi. Wa ukoto ade ubisa yebisa o say ye ntworo sen ade na onim say ukoto 5 CDs na so papa ni bisa say me ntworo sen na obebo figure foforo bi ama ye demonstration manye bi o say o man obi biara enye wakatua na ade asi wodan enye wakatua poche na ade ato car nimum ekwan foforo bi kan ho so na ode aye oniema kese no ye demonstration mankoye bi ebise wo so o kan ho bi. Hallelujah. Ekwan bia so mu amoton enwo amode colors afram amoton mankrofo ye demonstration manye bi. Wo a wudi konkonte afrankate a woton ewodwom ye demonstration manye bi. Ye fix the country no it should start from us. Hallelujah. Say asesa yesubanya nipa bia ni ho a obetumi asesa oman yama ye kan say oman corruption ko ne de ani akosi nkofo akase so. Meanwhile ase ho ade ye 5 CDs what on 20 CDs ye demonstration man ye bi say obo obi dua say nyankopon kum obi a it will start may start from you. Ye ya ye di mpanifo asi woni ye di omo atam ye bo omo dua ye omo say mo eti na dua no enya adwuma no because ye nkasa ye bo dua no ye problem. It mume nyina ya sesa ya adwen anya sa oman yi osi se kro ni yi a won so obeden obeye.
Have an issue with have an issue with the how do you call it director which
to speak to Sadat Tahiru. He is a member of the NPP caucus, Muslim caucus in the Ashanti region. They are not happy about certain developments that is happening within the region, specifically within Hefra. Those of you perhaps who do not know Hefra, they are that agency that inspect, and perhaps in such a way they act as an overlord of health facilities within the country. And in Ashanti region, the regional director Rashid Inusa, who is a regular on this show, will pick signals that there are some machinations to remove him from office. Not just that, he's been taken to an office in Accra whereby he's going to be operating under a junior officer. We're trying to get about these development, and Sadat Tahir is one gentleman. Yesterday we tried engaging him and picking his thought on these development. We obviously asked him if he could grace our show. So Sadat, good morning.
Morning once again.
And how are you, sir?
I'm fine, very, very.
Okay, so we'll be doing this we're having this conversation, both in English and Twi. I wish I could understand Hausa, but